First of all, thanks.
Yeah.
And congratulations for the 4th season.
Thank you.
How does that
very
feel?
much. 4th season feels good. You know, especially the early pickup that we got. You know, for the past several seasons, we kind of, you know, it's that waiting game of everybody goes home, we finish up our work here, and then we just kind of sit and wait and hope that we have a job next fall. But to get the early pickup for a 4th season is a nice big pat on the back, so we're happy.
So, why do you think all the success?
You know, to kind of put a finger on the success or why the success has happened to the show, I don't know that I could. I mean, I don't know that I could really put the, you know, point out one specific thing for anything that's success in this industry. You know, it's such a fickle industry, and you never know what's going to work and what isn't going to work. And luckily, we found an audience early on that has really stuck with us and grown from season to season. So that's obviously very important. The network also likes us, and the studios, you know, they're big fans of us, and that, of course, helps too, to have the suits on your back. You know, I don't know. I've been parts of shows and movies that I thought, you know, would be great and haven't been. And then, you know, you go with one that's that you were like, well, I don't know if this one's going to have a shot, and boom, it's a giant hit. So I don't think there's a formula to it. You just kind of give your best and hope that people respond to it, and they have.
Would you call it a cult classic?
You know, a lot of people like to deem it as a cult classic, and I think simply because of the genre of the television show. You know, it's this horror kind of you know, sci-fi-ish type of show. But you know, yeah, I would say we have a very kind of rabid fan base. That's you guys are awesome. So, but it's, you know, I think what separates us from the kind of those genre shows or those cult shows, as they like to be called, is just the fact that, especially on television right now, you know, you've got Lost and Medium, and you have a lot of shows that deal with, you know, supernatural type things. But with Supernatural, it's more of a horror show. You know, we don't keep the mystery of the unknown a mystery. We show it to you week to week, and these guys actually face them week to week. And so I think that aspect alone kind of separates us from the pack. We pick up season 3 where we left off with season 2, which is where Dean makes a deal with the devil to save his brother's life, or to bring his brother back to life in exchange for his soul. So there's a bit of a predicament that kind of winds its way through all of season 3. That you know, I'm still kind of on the fence of how it's going to resolve itself. I don't know that it will. Could be quite interesting, but that's kind of where we're leading towards the season finale. So, but it's kind of a run against time right now. Dean's got a year left to live, and he figures he's going to make the most of it. Whereas Sam's a little bit more driven to find an answer of fixing the deal and getting him out of the deal and saving his life. So it's two totally different kind of motivations. You know, you've got Sam who's like, hey, we got to figure this out. We got to fix this. We got to save your life. Whereas Dean's like, hey, let's go to Vegas. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic between the two brothers, and it's what I really like about the show is that from season to season these dynamics change quite drastically between the two characters. You know, the season 2 you've got Dean's more, or season 1 Dean's more of the motivating character, and he's kind of pushing the story. He's kind of like, we got to go, we got to find Dad, we got to do this, and Sam's kind of the reluctant one. And it keeps, you know, evolving and ever changing and flip flopping, and I think that's it's really great for, you know, us for me as an actor to, you know, have a character that continually evolves, and it's not just playing kind of one note. So yeah, that's kind of where we are season 3, and obviously we've introduced a few new characters this season. We introduced Bella and Ruby. And it was funny because when I heard they were going to add a few female characters to the show, of course my first concern was, you know, I hope it's not just we're just going to bring on a love interest, because that's kind of an obvious, way to introduce a female character. But they didn't, and I knew that Eric would come up with some kind of, tactical way to introduce them, and it's they've been kind of a great addition. You know, they've kind of taken the guys into different directions, and they've really, you know, kind of thrown some curveballs at the storyline. So that's been a nice addition, and and then it's more the same. We get to go town to town and find the people in distress and save them from the evils of the world.
We'll set the scene for me today a little bit. What are we seeing today?
Today is some of the motel room scenes, which every episode is, you've got these kind of, it's the necessary evil, the expositional scenes where we've got to explain what's going on and why it's going on and how we're going to fix it and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of information, informative scenes. So we are in the motel room. Sam and Dean are going through their research and trying to find ways of battling the supernatural demon that they've got this episode or this week. And in kind of getting caught up with looking for it, Dean gets a phone call that floors him and says that, hey, the person holding the contract on your head, or the demon holding the contract in your head, is in town. And of course Dean believes it wholeheartedly because he's starting to feel that that reality coming closer and closer. And he's starting to realize that, he's not done on Earth. He doesn't want to die. Even though his first initial reaction was, yeah, I did it, I got a year to live. Let's make the most of it. Let's have fun. Let's call up some old flames and, round two. But as he's getting closer and closer, he's starting to realize that it's really scaring him. It's really freaking him out. Of course, he will never let Sam know that, but internally, he's his stomach's flipping. So.
And there's somebody special who's coming back in this episode as well.
Well, I assume you're talking about Dad. Yeah. In this episode, the caller who floors Dean is his father, which he of course died at the beginning of season 2, and hasn't been back. So to get a phone call from the dad is a bit eye-opening, and to also have information that could possibly save his life. He's more than willing to accept it, especially it coming from his father. So that kind of sets his head in a spin, and he starts trying to figure out how he's going to deal with it and what he's going to do and where he's going to go, and waiting for the phone call to find out where the demon is. So that's what we're filming today. So some intense scenes.
Yeah. Long intense scenes.
Long intense. Yeah, I think we just finished filming a 4.5 pager.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Amazing, actually.
Thank you.
Wonderful to be a part of it. See, and this set.
Lost my voice a little in the middle of that.
Yeah, need some water?
No. In the middle of the scene, I was filming. I was yelling, and it's one of those things. Yeah, it's like.
And this scene, this set, this is special too.
Yeah, this set has kind of been used several times. Supernatural is a traveling road show, it's a traveling show in a sense, where the brothers are constantly traveling, going town to town. So we're constantly having to make our sets and our locations look different. We can't have standing sets. This isn't like a show where the living room and the bedrooms are always the same. I mean, we're never in the same place twice. So
but this particular set is for a very interesting episode, though, right?
Yes, yeah. This set, like I said, it's been changed to work in several different shows, but most recently, the show we just finished filming, the episode 13, was quite a different experience for everybody involved on the show. Basically, took all the film cameras out, took all the lighting out, took all of the marks out, took all of the crew out. Gave the actors handheld high definition cameras, and all of the scenes were filmed that way. So it's kind of in the same vein as the Cloverfield or Blair Witch Project, and it's going to be really interesting. It was quite liberating to get into a set and to run a scene once, and then have it all in the can, essentially. There's no turnarounds, there's no close-ups, there's no two shots, there's no masters, high and wides, nothing like that. It's boom, done, moving on.
And this one's called Ghost Faces.
That's right. This one's called Ghost Facers.
So many. Do you have like up to 60? I'm sure I've counted. Do you have a memorable episode or favorite episode or something that sticks out?
You know, when you work kind of just back to back to back to back to back, you know, they all become kind of one episode. So there's certain little things, and you know, the way my memory works, there's certain little things that you know, they kind of separate them from each other. You know, whether it was a scene I had, or whether it was a character that guest starred that episode, or this and that. But you know, it's crazy when you go in this hard and this strong for you know 9 months, I think, out of the year. Firing off 22 episodes, and then you know you get 3 months off, and then you're right back in the hole. So, but they, as far as memorable episodes, you know, the ones that really stand out to me the most were the ones in the beginning, simply because that's when the characters were starting to be developed. That's when our crew was coming together. That's when, you know, we found Kim Manners and brought him on the show, and that's when, you know, Bob Singer joined the show, and that's when these really kind of key players all started coming together, and you know, it was just the excitement of, you know, this can be something great.
Do you remember a particular scene or something that happened, or a relationship that you had?
Well, there was one episode called Dead in the Water, and it was the beginning of the first season, and it was actually the first episode that Kim Manners directed. So it kind of has a couple of meanings. You know, it was the one that